Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle DeTeach, or Coach Danni D, and I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to achieve their personal success stories that include joy, fulfillment, and balance. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease, be successful, and enjoy your life. My happy place is spending as much time in my PJs as humanly possible. And I want to help other women find their happy space while running profitable businesses or having a successful career. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always helping you to redefine success on your own terms, right? So, really just here to help you work with ease. And what that looks like is removing all of those obstacles that are keeping you from living that life that is joyful and fulfilled and executing at a high level. Okay. Today, what I want to talk to you about is perfectionism versus progression. And the reason why I want to talk about that is as a recovering, perfectionist, and as I watch a lot of, my clients, a lot of just women that I encounter, what I'm seeing is, we have these very, high achieving, very, capable and proven women who have done all the things, right? But they are struggling with getting that thing out, that thing that really, really matters, that thing that um, is really deeply tied to their purpose. And a part of that reason is, or not a part of the reason, but one of the excuses for not getting it done is perfectionism. I want it to be perfect, right? And I'm a planner and I like to, have my ducks in a row. I'm not, um, even as deep as I am into work with ease and releasing a lot of the, obstacles, right? I still am a planner. I still have certain standards about how I want things to be, right? That's not the problem. The problem is when we start being dishonest about planning and stalling. Because what happens is we plan ourselves into a holding pattern. Oh, well, this isn't right. Well, I can't move forward with this until I do this. And we find all kinds of different ways of saying that I'm waiting on, and you fill in the blank, whatever that waiting on is, until, I'm waiting on that to take the next step. And whatever that fill in the blank is typically unnecessary. We've convinced ourselves that it is, but it's typically unnecessary. I am a big believer in education. I'm a big believer in, you know, experiences and making sure that things go the way that they're supposed to. I'm a big believer in making sure that you are, offering what you said that you were offering, right? I believe in all of that. But I also know when you are tying your next step to a degree, to stall or a certification to stall. I know when you are tying your next step to some sort of like paperwork that you need to get that you haven't even started on the process of getting. I hear people all the time, oh, well, I need to file, if it's a new business, I need to get my business registered. And I've been there, done that. So I know what it looks like to say, oh, I'm going to get that done. And then, if you know me and you know me well, will win, by win. And I always get a response of, oh, well, by the end of the year, oh, by, in the next 3 months. Literally takes less than an hour to get all of that paperwork squared away. When you tell yourself 3 months, then it gives you 3 months for you to then wait until 2 months and, um, 2 months and 30 days to decide in that 1 hour to go ahead and get it done. Get it done today. But also question, is that necessary for you to take the next step? Maybe it is the next step, and then you need to get on it and get it done. But maybe it is a cute way to deflect, to put it down the line, to say, you know what, it's not perfect yet, so I can't release it. There's so many things that would have never seen the light of day if I stuck to perfection and didn't shift my mind to progression. So that's the mindset shift that we have. And a lot of it stems from, childhood, stems from if you were that straight A student and that overachiever, and even as an adult, people still praise you. Oh my God, everything you do is, so pristine and it's so this and it's so that. And we get addicted to that. We get addicted to that. And we start to get to the point where we become paralyzed by this perfection, right? We start to feel like we can't move forward unless something is perfect. There is actually no such thing as perfect. Even that thing that people praise you for being perfect, it wasn't. There was things, and that's okay. That's not a shot. That's not um that's not anything other than honest. And it's okay. But we have assignments. We have assignments that we need to work on. And, I get asked all the time, like, how do you do this or how do you do that or how do you overcome this or I'm so nervous about that. And I think the most freeing thing for me was realizing that it doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. And also, what perfect means to me may not be what it means to the person that I'm meant to serve, right? Um, I always tell a story because it's something that really like has resonated with me over time. Many of you know I have a balloon decor company, and um being that I came up on classic decor, organic has always been like, a thorn in my side, right? And I will sit there and now I've kind of like got my um formula, so to speak, of how I do it, and it's not as stressful for me. But in the beginning, it was like super stressful, and I would always be, adjusting this and adjusting that, and oh, this is not quite right. And a lot of times in all of that adjusting, you're making it worse, right? And I remember being on a job, and my husband said, leave it. He said, stop touching it, leave it alone. And as he's physically pulling me away, because it is time, we're, at that mark that we need to be walking out of the door. And as he's physically pulling me away from the design, he said, the person, he said, nobody sees what your original idea was in your head. And over the years, that has been such a freeing statement to me, not just in that realm, but in life, because we have this vision of how something is supposed to be and what perfect looks like within the context of that vision, right? And so when we have that thought in our head, sometimes we get so locked in and dialed into that we lose sight of what the overall reasoning is for what we're doing, as well as how it is received by the end user. And so the same thing that you are, you know, sitting there moving over something a half an inch this way and a half an inch that way, someone else is walking into and seeing in awe, right? And so that is true of whatever your passion work is, because somebody needed to hear it. Somebody needed to experience it. There are people who are assigned to you, no matter what it is you do. There are people who are assigned to you. They may, a lot of times we think, oh, well, I don't do something, I don't do healing work. I don't do coaching. I don't see that. Even before I was coaching, there were people who I've met at various stages of my life that were following me that I didn't even know were following me, and have expressed that, oh, you did this and it made me see that I could do something totally different, right? Like not even necessarily in the same industry, but that them seeing it gave them hope for their own journey, right? There are people who are watching you. There are people who are learning from you. There are people who are waiting for that project. If you listen to last week's episode, me and Nakia were talking about that project that's in the drawer collecting dust that you didn't have for 10 years, that's finished, that you haven't put out into the world. There are people that are waiting on that. And you're so busy perfecting, and somebody is sitting waiting for an answer, and they're not getting it because it is in a drawer somewhere. It is collecting dust because you are so concerned about it being perfect in according to your definition of perfect. It is absolutely perfect right now for the person that it's meant for. Get it out the drawer, dust it off, make progress, commit today to do step one. Maybe step one, two, and three. I don't know. I don't know what the project is, but commit to it. Give yourself a deadline that is realistic, but not so lenient that you're just not going to do it. Do the thing. You know what? Go announce the thing. Go announce the thing. That is always my biggest way of making sure that I am moving, is because if I said it out loud, then I got to make it happen because I said it out loud. Go announce the thing. Stop tiptoeing at this. Move forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have conversations all the time because, not only do I do these solo episodes, but I do guest episodes of the podcast. And I have conversations with women a lot of times that I'm asking to be a guest, but they're like, oh, I've been thinking about starting this podcast. And then, like, almost immediately, it goes from like excitement to in the weeds, because it's like, but first I have to And every podcast and platform is different. I'm not saying that everybody has to do it the same way, but what I am saying is remove all of those obstacles that are unnecessary. Do you know how many people are out here on social media from their bed, that, or while they're cooking food or whatever they're doing it. And we get frustrated when our idea gets picked up by somebody else and they go and run and do it. But it's been sitting in that drawer with that dust on it. And God only gonna give it to you for so long before he say, you know what? You're not moving fast enough, and I need this out into the world. So then that idea is gonna pop into someone else's head and they're gonna execute it. And I don't even want you to not do it because of that, because some of us will say that, well, so and so is doing this. They're not you. They got different people assigned to them. They're not you. Go do it anyway. God brought it to you for a reason. Go do it. Execute. Get it out there. Get it out into the universe. You can always change, update, perfect as you go. But you gotta get that perfectionism monkey off your back because it will keep you stalled. And to be honest with you, one of the things that I've learned through this journey, and it's been a journey, and you can go back and look at old stuff and new stuff, and you'll see changes and upgrades and all these other things, right? It's been a journey. But one of the things that I've learned is people better connect to the more authentic you. And sometimes we make something so perfect that it's uncomfortable, that people don't relate to it, that people feel um uncomfortable. You ever been to someone's house and it looks so much like a showroom that you are scared to touch anything in there? That's going from, I like this aesthetic, right? To uncomfortable. Because now it don't feel warm anymore. It doesn't feel real. And real people make mistakes. Real people are not perfect. And so understand it doesn't have to be perfect to be impactful. But it does have to be seen to be impactful. It does have to be heard to be impactful. You cannot expect something that's in the drawer or that's still in um, planning to be impactful because no one has experienced it. So that is that's my that's my spiel for today, right? Get into action. Start actually doing the thing. Stop being afraid. Get out there and do it. And you're going to have hiccups. You're going to have mistakes along the way. Those are teachable moments. Those are teachable moments. Those are also human moments. Do it anyway. Keep going. Learn, grow, change, evolve. But you can't do any of that until you start to get into motion. So let's focus on progress. Let's focus on progress. And I'll give a different example just because it just popped into my head. So I found my Fitbit recently. I don't know what happened, where it was. Well, I lost the Fitbit, then I found the Fitbit, then I couldn't find the charger for the Fitbit, ordered a new charger, and then of course find the old charger, right? All right, so I've been wearing my Fitbit. And like now Fitbit and Google Health are connected. And so Google Health is talking to me every day and telling me about, you did this good today and maybe try this and, so on and so forth. So I'm not to the point yet where I am hitting my goal every day, but I see the progress. And if I could just say, oh, well, because I know like mentally what I need to do in a day to hit that goal, right? And some days that is absolutely feasible. Other days I'm like, I can't do this because I got this. So other days it's not. I could just stop. I could just stop because, well, it's not working. Or I could just say, well, I'm not going to even try today because I know I can't get all of my activities in today. Or I could do the amount that I can do. And I know I'm not going to hit my number today, but I know that I'm going to at least get this far, right? That's the mindset that we have to shift to. If we want to see results long term, then we have to think about what is the best that I can do today? What is the what progress can I make today? And again, not perfect, but it's still progress. I'm still closer. Perfect is not going to get me closer. Perfect is not going to get me closer. And just because something is not perfect does not mean it's not quality, does not mean it's not good, does not mean it's not worthy. It's just, it's just not perfect. Perfect is too hard anyway. Perfect is discouraging. The way that the mind works, like if we want to go back to like the psychology of it all, success breeds success. So if you set yourself up for perfect being the metric for success, then you are going to get frustrated and more likely quit sooner. Whereas if you say that success looks like, and you fill in the blank with something that is actually more feasible and obtainable, then if I say success doesn't look like I closed the loop today, success looks like I work to my capacity today, then I'm going to keep going because I'm going to look at today and I'm going to say, oh, okay, cool. I started out only reaching, maybe a third of my loop. And now I'm like at half of my loop. And, tomorrow is going to be a day that I could do full loop. And so now I have these realistic goals, but I'm also still challenging myself because I'm like, well, let me get the most out of it that I can, right? But I'm not beating myself up for what I'm not doing. I'm not beating myself up for not being perfect every single day. It's not a loss. It's cumulative. It's adding to an overall goal. That's what you're doing. You're adding to an overall goal. You're moving the needle. You need to move the needle in all areas of your life, especially that passion, that purpose, the things that make your life joyful and fulfilling. You need to move the needle, but you ain't gonna move the needle if you're so busy tying your shoes because the bow is not perfect. So now I can't even get out and walk because I'm adjusting this bow 4,042 times. Get into action. Start doing the thing. You're going to get better at the thing every day. You're going to get better at it. But you're not going to reach perfection in planning mode. Doesn't exist. Perfection doesn't exist. But even if it did, it's not going to be in planning mode because planning mode is such an isolated situation. Real life don't work that way. And so you're never going to get it, quote unquote, right in planning mode. You got to put it into action. Get into action. All right. I got to get into action today. So I'm going to leave y'all right there. Um, there's so much going on in the workflow universe right now. So I'm going to just give you the stuff that I can think of off the top of my head, but I will definitely put something out because I went to an event recently and someone asked me what was going on and I started rattling off stuff and they were like, can you email that to me? So I'm definitely going to put something out with all of the things because it's a lot that's happening right now. But that lot that is happening is all a result of getting out there and being in action. And these things just kind of came and fell together as a result, right? Okay, so Friday, today is Wednesday, so Friday, August 14th, I will be helping Lanisha Senegal. Y'all remember her? She was on the episode about bootstrap economics, the board game that she created. So she will be having a game night at Suno um as a part of their business development program, their incubator. So she's going to be hosting a game night. She asked myself and Stephanie and Bellu, who came and talked to us about operations. So two past guests. Um, so we will be helping facilitate game night with her with the Bootstrap Economics game. So that'll be on August 14th. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. So be sure to register, come out, have a good time, get some valuable information. So that will be great. The other event this week is on Saturday, August 15th. I will be doing a book signing for the I Don't Do It All and Neither Should You book. So I will be doing the book signing for that. And that book is about aligning your calendar and finding balance, purpose, and fulfillment. So if you are overwhelmed and that is a part of the reason why you can't get into action, you need to come get you a copy. I'll be there signing copies from 1 to 3 on Saturday, August 15th. Beyond that, so on September 10th, I'm going to be tabling at an event, and I do not want to call it by its wrong name. So I will have that in the show notes as well. But it is going to be a event full of it's a free event full of resources for women from different organizations that are for the benefit of women and their holistic well-being. So that's going to be September 10th. September 11th through 13th, I will be in Atlanta for Inflate Your Income. So that is Inflate Your Income Conference, the business behind balloons. It actually pertains to more than balloons. So if you are in an industry that aligns, you are also welcome to come. I co-host that with um Paula and Sheila. Sheila was a past guest. And Adrian. It is a, business focused event, but we do have Adrian, the queen of foils, that is going to do some hands-on with the foils, but it's really about getting your business in a place where it is sustainable and that it is generating revenue. Let's see. And then the following week, I will be in Baton Rouge for the book festival in Baton Rouge, and also Lisa, who you would have met if you attended the launch of the Redefining Success book, the virtual launch, because she is the my literary coach. So she's the person that helped to facilitate that process. She does an event called Come Out and Play. So that is going to be the day before that festival. So I'll get the information and share that with you guys as well so that you can come out and attend that event. There is more behind, there's more stuff coming in the following months as well, but I'm gonna leave it right there for right now. I think there's enough for you to digest. And again, I'll send a comprehensive list of all the things that are coming up, or maybe I'll create a calendar. I don't know. Okay. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week with a special guest episode that I think you really are going to enjoy. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to the Prophets in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with these. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For more information about creating balance in your life, register for my upcoming calendar detox challenge at CoachDanniD.com. Don't forget to subscribe, join the community, and book a call to find the workflow program that best fits your needs.